Hello, everybody. If you're a father, I think you will benefit from today's message. And if you have been fathered, I think today's message will highlight what a blessing it is to have a godly father in the home. Maybe if you haven't been fathered, today's message will highlight some areas that you need to take care of in your life. And moms, if you're a single mom, courageously bringing up children by yourself, perhaps today's message will encourage you to get a surrogate father around, maybe a brother, maybe an uncle, maybe a grandfather, to stand beside you and help you sow into those wonderful children of yours. So regardless of your situation, I think what I've got to say to you today will be beneficial and hopefully will ward off future problems that could arise in your family. So let me take this opportunity to thank all you incredibly wonderful, godly fathers out there. God bless you. Happy Father's Day. Today, I'm going to speak to you about the 5 P's of fatherhood. I'm going to give you 5 characteristics that you need to have if you're going to be a great, godly father. Number 1, he must be a protector. A father must be a protector. He's concerned about your well-being. You know, father can really get on your nerves when he wants to know, where are you? Where are you going? Who are you going to be with? How long are you going to be there? What time will you come home? The reason he does that is because he is a protector. And he wants to be able to say to God, this is my family, and I'm going to protect them. And so when the Bible talks about men being the head of the family, the word head there many times is used as covering. He's the covering. He's the protector of the family, both spiritually and physically. A godly father stands in the gap and takes the full force of the storm so that his family does not have to. And it's so unfortunate that many times a father is not appreciated until he is not around. Only on his departure does everyone recognize what a mighty father he was, because all of a sudden the family has to endure these incredible storms that dad used to take care of. Now, fathers, let me say this. If you come home every day and you complain about all you have to deal with, you're a lousy father, because that's your job as a protector. Don't come home and dump all your stress on the family. You're there to protect your family from stress. And many times it's in their silence that fathers protect their families. Dad, it's your job to handle the storms out at sea so that your children and your wife can live in the calm and the safety of the harbor. Number 2 is provider. The father is the provider. And when I talk about provisions, it's more than money. He provides wisdom and insight. He provides friendship and perspective and counsel. He has a giving spirit. Your life is richer because he is around. It's not about who makes the most money. He's still the provider. He's still there being the contributor and the giver. He gives structure and foundation to the family. Girls, listen to me. If you have a boyfriend who has a stingy spirit, get rid of him. I don't care whether he has a six-pack and he's got the body of a Greek god. If he is stingy at 20, he will be stingy at 70. And at 70, he won't have a six-pack. And he won't look like a Greek god. You need someone in your life who's going to sacrificially provide for you and take care of you in all the number of ways that we have spoken about. You know, when God created man, he created him in his own image. And one of the names for God the Father is Jehovah Jireh, which means my provider. And we need to teach our young men to be providers in their homes and not leeches. Number 3 is promoter. The father needs to be the promoter of the family. And a promoter is someone who promotes someone other than themselves. It's not about the family getting to make us as fathers look good. It's a job of us as fathers to use the gifts that God has given us to lift up our families and to make them look and feel good about themselves. God the Father took the lead in this. You know, he spoke from heaven at his son's baptism, and he said these incredible words that everybody heard. This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Listen to him. And dads, just because your father was not your champion and your promoter does not mean that you have to carry on that dysfunctional habit in your family. You need to stand up and be the promoter of your wife and your children. There's a Father in heaven who showed you how to do this. And if we will take his counsel and his direction, we will be able to do the same with our families. Number 4 is priest. Fathers, you need to be a priest. The Bible indicates that the father is the priest in the home. Do you remember the very first thing that Noah did when the ark landed on dry ground and the doors were opened? He built an altar and he led his family in praising and sacrificing and praying to God. Fathers, you're the priest in the home. You need to be the initiator of prayer. You need to be a praying man. It's not just good enough to go to church or drop your children at church when we're able to do so. You need to have a life of prayer where you can turn stuff over to God. Because if you don't turn stuff over to God as the man who stands in the gap and takes the storms of life, you'll become dysfunctional like so many other fathers we see in this world. The Bible invites you to cast your cares upon him. And this world is in desperate need of praying fathers. 1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 8 reads like this. Therefore I want the men everywhere to pray, lifting up holy hands without anger or disputing. Men, the reason we are to be praying without ceasing is because problems will come without ceasing. And if we're going to be that godly man in the home who stands in the gap, providing protection and provisions and the priestly direction in the home, we need all the help we can get. We need to be seeking that from the Father in heaven. Look at 2 Chronicles chapter 7 and verse 14 with me. If my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from the heavens and will forgive their sins and will heal their land. One of the biggest problems we have in our homes today is that we do not have praying fathers. This war, it's spiritual warfare. And one of the best weapons we have in our arsenal is prayer. You know, when I pray for my family, when I pray for Diane and my boys and their spouses, when I pray for my grandchildren, I do not do it as their preacher. I pray for them from a higher calling. I pray for them as a father, because as a father, I am the priest in my home. And I'm going to use every weapon in my arsenal to make sure that Satan doesn't come after the souls of my family. Fathers, you can pray for your wife and for your children better than anyone else because God has made you priest over your home. And fathers, can I just add this? You need to be teaching your children to pray. And they need to see that you are a father of prayer. They need to hear you pray at the dinner table, but also at other times as well. I hope that they will catch you praying. It will mean so much for their spiritual lives. And finally this morning, number 5, a father is a prophet. A good father prophesies to his children. He tells them of God's plan for their lives. He tells them what they can be, what they can become. He speaks to their destiny, not their predicament. And when they fall down, when shortcomings arise, he says to them, you are better than this. You can go further than this. This is not the end for you. It's just the beginning. Get back. Fight again. You are a winner. God has got great things planned for your life. He's bought you with a price, and you're on this earth on purpose for a purpose. I want to conclude this message today by telling you a story from the Old Testament. It's a story you know well, but maybe these details are new to you. It's a story of Jacob and Rachel. If you remember, during the courting days, Jacob loved Rachel a lot and asked her father for her hand in marriage. And her father was a conniving guy, and eventually Jacob worked 14 years for her father just so he could get her hand in marriage. Well, Rachel gave Jacob two of his great sons. The first one was Joseph. And Joseph, you'll remember, the coat of many colors, and he rose to prominence in Egypt and, of course, saved his family. But then she gave birth to another son. This was to be the final of Jacob's sons. And it's a sad story because she died while giving birth to him. But before she died, she said, I'm going to name him, and his name will be Benoni. And the reason I'm calling him Benoni is because Benoni means son of my sorrow. Well, I can picture the scene. She dies in childbirth, the son is born, and the midwives wrap up this little boy, and they rush to the back of the tent, and they hand over to the little boy to his dad, Jacob, and they said, congratulations, Dad, here's your son. Unfortunately, your wife, Rachel passed away, but your son has been named. His name is Benoni, son of your wife's sorrow. And Jacob said, no, 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 that will not be his name. His name will be Benjamin, son of my right hand, son of my strength. Jacob was not about to let his son carry the hurts of the past into the future in his name. He wanted his son to be a great man, and he prophesied that good things would come from his life. And of course, Benjamin became a great leader of one of the great tribes of Israel. And his tribe was known for their boldness and their fierceness. And from Benjamin came some of the greatest kings of Israel, king after great king after great king. All because his father decided to prophesy and say, you will not be the son of sorrow. You'll be son of my right hand and my strength. Can you imagine what this boy could have been like if his name had not been changed by his dad? He could have grown up going to school with a name like Benoni. And when the teacher asked, what's your name? Well, my name's Benoni. What does it mean? It means son of my sorrow. My mother died in childbirth, and I'm the least of the 13 children of my father. But his father was not about to let that happen. And he prophesied into his life and changed his name. You are Benjamin. You are son of my right hand. You are son of my strength. And fathers, we need to do that. We need to speak into our children's lives and tell them who they are and what they can become by the power of God in their lives. So in conclusion, can I once again say to all you amazing fathers, happy Father's Day. The calling that God has given you as father is no small thing. And my prayer is that you will rise up and be the dad that God has called you to be. So don't forget today, you are protector, you are provider, you are promoter, you are priest, and you are prophet as father in your home. Be blessed. Have a stunning week.